Will Auburn lose Ponix this offseason and add another QB after signing Holden Jerina? Auburn secured a key addition to its quarterback room during the early signing period, but the makeup of the position group for 2022 could still change this offseason. Four-star quarterback Holden Jerina, who had been committed to Auburn since February, was among the 16 players who signed with Bryan Harsin's program Wednesday. Jerina's letter of intent was never in doubt, but his signature was still a significant one for Harsin and his staff, which will head into year 2 with a new starting quarterback following Bo Nix's decision Sunday to enter the transfer portal. Read more Auburn football. What Bryan Harsin said about Auburn's early signing class. Auburn expected to hire Davis as new OC. Rewinding Auburn's early signing day action. Auburn is currently set to have 3 quarterbacks on scholarship next season: TJ Finley, Davis and Geriner, but Harsin did not rule out the possibility of adding another piece to that room, whether it be another high school senior or a pickup via the transfer portal. That remains to be seen, Harsin said Wednesday. Obviously, things have changed in that room. That's putting it mildly. Nix was Auburn's QB1 for each of the last 3 seasons, starting at quarterback in 34 consecutive games dating back to the first game of his freshman campaign in 2019. The former 5-star prospect and Auburn legacy started every game for the Tigers in which he was healthy, missing the team's final 2 games this fall after sustaining a fractured ankle in the second half of a November 13 loss to Mississippi State. Nix's career on the Plains providing exhilarating highs, beginning with his game-winning touchdown pass in the waning seconds of his collegiate debut against Oregon, and hitting a crescendo in October when he helped deliver Auburn's first road win against LSU in more than 2 decades. His time at quarterback intertwined those highs with maddening lows, like his 3 interception performances in losses at Florida in 2019 and South Carolina in 2020, as well as a middling effort that saw him benched in the second half of the team's comeback win against Georgia State early this season. Still, Nix displayed a level of toughness throughout his 3 seasons as Auburn's starter, both on the field and in managing criticism away from it. He endured 3 different offensive coordinators and 2 different head coaches during his career. He was the SEC Freshman of the Year in 2019, and though he struggled with consistency throughout his career, he seemingly took a step forward in his growth this season under Harsin and recently fired offensive coordinator Mike Bobo, as he completed at least 60% of his passes for the season for the first time in his career. He ends his time on the Plains as one of the most prolific passers in school history, finishing number 3 in career passing yards, just 48 yards shy of Jason Campbell for number 2 in school history. He completed 59.4% of his passes, threw 39 touchdowns and accounted for 57 total scores. He also leaves Auburn as number 2 in program history in career pass attempts and completions, a pair of records that would have been in reach had he returned for his senior season following his ankle injury. As for who will succeed Nix as Auburn's starter, that remains to be seen. Finley, who transferred from LSU this summer, was Nix's backup throughout the season and started Auburn's final 2 regular season games against South Carolina and Alabama. He is the most experienced option currently set to be on the roster next season. There's also Davis, the former 4-star dual-threat quarterback who has yet to see the field this season while taking a redshirt but could make his debut in the Birmingham Bowl on December 28. Then, of course, there's Geriner, the 4-star prospect out of Savannah, Gar, who officially joined the program Wednesday and is set to enroll in January. The 6'3", 206-pounder was the first high school prospect to commit to Auburn when Harsin took over the program, and he finished his prep career with more than 7,100 passing yards and 71 touchdowns. That included 3,377 yards and 36 touchdowns as a senior, when he completed nearly 70% of his passes and led Benedictine Military School to a state title in Georgia. First of all, he played his best game in the state championship and won, Harsin said, but go all the way back to when he committed to us and chose Auburn as his school of choice. All has done from that point on is gotten better. Every single game, every time I've seen him, has just been on this steady climb of just improving and getting better. And you can see it, not just physically. Physically, has gotten better, his understanding of the game has improved, his leadership has gotten better, has had a chance to come to multiple games and be in this environment and watch our team play. I think has got a presence about him, has just been continually improving. With 3 scholarship quarterbacks now in place for 2022, Auburn finds itself in the same position it was in last summer when it had Nix, Davis and Grant Lowy. The Tigers, of course, hit the transfer portal and plucked Finley from LSU to bolster depth at quarterback, and it's possible Harsin and his staff do something similar this offseason. There are several experienced and intriguing quarterback options still available in the portal, including former USC starter Kedon Slovis and Incarnate Word standout Cameron Ward, among others. While Auburn has used the portal to its advantage since Harsin was named head coach, and while the Tigers aren't opposed to continue using it, Harsin stressed during his early signing day press conference that the program wants to stay focused focused on recruiting high school players at all positions and building relationships at that level. The portal itself, it's still got to be the right fit at the end of the day, Harsin said. So you still have to go through a process. It happens faster. You don't have the same year and a half, 2 years, maybe to build a relationship unless you knew somebody prior to that you recruited. But a lot of the times, that's not the case. It's just a matter of still finding the right fit. Bowl practices give you an awesome opportunity to really see some of your young players that didn't play during the season, to go out there and compete. I think that's something that helps you determine where you need to go. Tom Green is an Auburn beat reporter for Alabama Media Group. Follow him on Twitter at Thomas_Verde.